Chapter 28, Final Words, You Matter Too. As we reach the final chapter of this journey together, it's time to bring everything full circle and leave you with a powerful, transformative truth. You matter too. For years, you may have been putting everyone else first, your children, your partner, your work, your family, and your community. You've played your roles with dedication and heart, often at the expense of your own well-being. Perhaps you've lost sight of your own needs, desires, and identity, thinking that focusing on yourself was selfish or secondary. But let's make one thing clear: you are just as important as the people you love and care for. In this chapter, we'll take a step back and reflect on the fundamental truth that you matter, not just as a father, husband, or provider, but as the person you are at your core. Your worth is not tied to your ability to fulfill roles or meet the expectations of others. Your value comes from simply being you. You are more than your roles. It's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of daily life and start defining yourself by what you do. Father, husband, provider. These roles are undeniably important, but they don't define you. You are not just the sum of your responsibilities. You are a unique person with dreams, passions, emotions, and a soul that needs attention and care. Over time, you may have neglected your own needs in the name of duty. You may have been so focused on being everything for others that you forgot to ask yourself, who am I apart from all these roles? And perhaps for a long while you couldn't even answer that question. But you are allowed to reclaim yourself. When you take time to nurture your own identity, you don't become less of a father, husband, or provider. Instead, you become more. You become someone who can truly give from a place of abundance, because you've first invested in yourself. Your well-being and happiness matter. Your needs are valid, and caring for yourself isn't selfish. It's essential for you to show up as the best version of yourself for those you love. The power of self-worth. We often hear that the foundation of a happy life is rooted in love. Love for others, love for your family, love for your work. But what if we told you that the starting point is love for yourself? You cannot give from an empty cup. Your relationships, your work, your role as a father, and your presence as a partner all benefit when you are grounded in self-worth and self-love. It's time to break free from the false belief that your self-worth is tied to your accomplishments or the roles you play. Your inherent value doesn't depend on how much you produce, how successful you are, or how perfectly you fulfill your duties. You are worthy simply because you exist. Understanding and embracing your self-worth can transform your approach to life. It allows you to pursue your passions without guilt, set boundaries without fear, and prioritize your mental and emotional health without shame. You deserve joy, fulfillment, and peace just as much as anyone else in your life. Self-care is not optional. Taking care of yourself is not an afterthought, it is a necessity. Self-care is about creating space for yourself physically, emotionally, and mentally. It's about nourishing your body, giving your mind rest, and cultivating emotional health. In the past, you may have dismissed self-care as something extra or selfish. But self-care is an investment in your future. It ensures that you can show up for your family, your career, and your community with energy, focus, and emotional resilience. To live fully and authentically, you need to be intentional about self-care. This doesn't always mean dramatic, life-altering changes. It could be as simple as taking time each day to reconnect with yourself, whether through exercise, meditation, journaling, or just sitting in silence. The key is consistency. By committing to self-care, you reaffirm that you matter. You reinforce the belief that your well-being is just as important as anyone else's. Breaking the cycle of self-sacrifice. For many men, there's a deep-seated belief that they must sacrifice their own needs for the sake of others. But sacrificing yourself constantly is not sustainable. It leads to burnout, resentment, and a sense of losing touch with who you are. Breaking this cycle doesn't mean you stop caring for your loved ones or that you stop being the provider or protector you've always been. It simply means that you learn to balance your responsibilities with self-respect. It means giving yourself permission to take breaks, to ask for help, to say no when necessary, and to rest when you need to. Self-sacrifice is admirable in many contexts, but when it becomes a default mode of living, it harms your own mental health and erodes your sense of self. True strength comes from knowing when to give and when to receive, when to pour into others and when to pour into yourself. It's never too late to change. If you're feeling like you've lost yourself or that you've drifted too far from who you truly are, know that it's never too late to begin the journey back to yourself. Every moment is an opportunity to reconnect, to change, to heal, and to grow. You might have spent years prioritizing others, but that doesn't mean you can't shift your focus now. Doesn't mean you've failed. It means you are choosing to honor yourself. And that is a courageous and transformative step. You are enough. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone. You are enough just as you are. Your worth isn't measured by your ability to meet the expectations of others or to achieve success in your career. It's not about how many hours you work or how much money you make. Your worth is inherent. You have a unique role in this world, and you matter just by being you. So, as you move forward from this book and the journey you've taken, remember this truth. You are worthy of love, happiness, and peace. You are allowed to prioritize yourself, and you don't need to feel guilty for doing so. Let go of the idea that your value is dependent on your achievements. Let go of the belief that you must sacrifice yourself for others. Let go of the idea that you don't deserve joy or fulfillment. You are enough. The final word, you matter too. This is not the end, but the beginning. The beginning of a new chapter in your life where you take back your power, reconnect with your purpose, and embrace your identity with confidence. As you continue on this journey, never forget that you matter too. It's time to step into your own life, to honor yourself, and to remember that your well-being is as important as anyone else's. Take this knowledge with you and live a life that is fulfilling, balanced, and true to who you are. Because, in the end, you are enough. The end.